Shaq just continues to prove the point of what the younger generation and new media, I guess I'm a part of that now when it comes to NBA and sports. Shaq just continues to prove our point of what we mean by that, man, with his lack of preparedness, um, this old man mindset, not willing to give some of these young dudes the props, even when they are playing really well or doing good things on the court, et cetera, right? I think a prime example of that the other night is a couple of things. Right? Number one, on his podcast the other day, I saw a clip where he talked about how the Detroit Pistons um don't deserve credit for how well they're playing, right? Despite them being the laughing stock, the most embarrassing team, worse than the Wizards, right? The last few years. Haven't been to the playoffs, I believe, since 2018 or something like that, 2017, right? Him guessing what their current seeding is and where they were, not even knowing that they actually are like 7, 8 games over 500. He talking about they under 500 and they shouldn't be rewarded for winning 20 something, 30 something games, and not even knowing like they're doing much better than what you're saying, bro. And then he said that Chauncey Billups was the coach of the Pistons when it's clearly JB Bickerstaff. Then you got Zion putting up a 22-point triple double. He's finally healthy. He's finally playing games, even though their season doesn't mean much right now, right? Because he didn't play much in the beginning, and they had a lot of injuries and a lot of unfortunate things happening, right? It's not all on you, Zion, why they suck. But Zion's playing now. He's playing. He's being consistent. He's stepping up. He's on the court. He's putting up numbers, right? He's averaging. I think I saw in the last games he's played, he's averaging like 25 and 10. Right? He hooping. Shaq said anybody can get 20 now. That's nothing. You don't get kudos for that. Anybody can score 20 now. That's nothing. Come on, man. Come on, man. I get it, Shaq. You was dominant. I get it, Shaq. I get that you one of the best big mans to ever do it. I get it. And you might be right that easily people could get 20 points now. You might be right that the Pistons aren't going anywhere and not winning no championship no time soon. But when it come to being an analyst and having the power you have with that mic, you got to talk the game, bro. You got to be willing to say that yes, the Detroit has drastically improved from last year to this year. That JB Bickerstaff is doing a great job, and he's fixed some very minute details about that team that they struggled in: closing games, turnovers, lack of defense, lack of communication. Actually putting the ball in Cade Cunningham's hand and letting him be the all-star that he is. Helping Jalen Duren rise to another level. Right, like just get the best out of these dudes. You got a couple vets, and you got in Hardaway, and Beasley, and Tobias Harris, like which is a formula for winning. You gotta have some young studs. You gotta have a star. You gotta have some vets. You gotta have a pretty damn good coach. And you gotta have a pretty good damn bench. And they doing all of this without Jaden Ivey, another dude that could be a young star in this league very, very soon. So that's what we mean when we say you gotta actually talk the game, bro, and not just come on there and just running your mouth sounding like some old head that's trying to remember the good days back in the good days when you was, dominating, which you did. Nobody taking that away from you. But to go in there and spread misinformation and giving half-ass takes that you're not even doing research on and just kind of spewing from the mouth. Come on, man. You've been around Chuck too long, Shaq. You starting to sound bitter and old and just hating on people for no reason, bro. And what I'm starting to feel is like Shaq is starting to use his likeness and who he is and his name and not actually preparing to do the show at a high level. Because people are relying on you for certain information when they watch NBA TNT. They're listening to you, your expertise, and not just a bunch of opinions. And I think I said this before about Chuck too, and that video is doing really well when we talk about why the Chuck hate the Lakers so much, right? But that's what it feels like. It feels like it's a bunch of dudes, and not necessarily so much Kenny as much and Ernie, but definitely Chuck and Shaq, where it feels like sometimes they just come on there because of who they used to be and who Shaq is, the brands that he's built all over and maybe that's what it is. Maybe Shaq is so busy building all these brands and all these partnerships to where he doesn't have time to prep and actually be knowledgeable in the things he's talking about on the air. But you can't come on there and give so much opinion that you don't give any facts. You can't come on there and be doing so much hating and degrading of teams and the players that you don't hardly give praise. All right, that you want to try to be so fucking funny and relatable that you forget to like speak of the game in the proper way. You're a Hall of Famer. Why would you not want to pass the torch forward and show love to these dudes? Right, Zion is finally healthy. He finally playing games. The Pistons have been in the fucking gutter for 10 plus years almost. And they finally doing something. Yeah, they winning games. They might not make a deep playoff run. We know that. We know that they ain't gonna beat the Bostons and the Cavs of the world. We know that. But they're far better than what they were. And that deserves to be commended when you have a platform like you have, Shaq. And that's all I'm saying, man. You've been around Chuck too long. You're starting to sound bitter. And just chill out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you don't, and if you feel away, and that's how you feel, just use your personal platform. Use your personal podcast for that. We got national TV, millions of people watching. Nobody want to hear you always bashing people, bro, and hating on people, bro, and saying this ain't good enough and that ain't shit, and we shouldn't praise that and not like nobody want to hear that shit, man. Nobody want to hear that shit every day. You sound old and bitter, bro, just like Shaq. I mean, just like Chuck. And it makes us wonder, what are you so mad about? Do you miss the game that much? Do you wish you could still play? Are you mad about how much are these players are getting paid now? Like, what is it? Yeah, they got privilege. Yeah, they got more of a voice than you did back then. They do. Get over it, bro. Whatever it is, man, just get your shit together. You sound old and bitter. And we need better from the greats that came before to help push it further even more. That's what we need. And we'll just leave it at that, man. I love y'all, man. Perfect way to end it. Shaq, you've been around Chuck ass too long. And you and Chuck need to go on a motherfucking retreat or something and get your happiness. Because y'all sound mad as fuck on the air every day. Nobody want to hear that depressing shit. Be sure to like, subscribe to the video, man. I love y'all. Peace.